The following podcast is a collection of creatives posing interesting perspectives and opinions on branding, marketing, business, and everything in between. The views expressed on this podcast do not necessarily reflect the beliefs of its guests, hosts, or production team. The names, circumstances, and situations discussed are about 98% fictitious, with the primary intent to protect the guilty. Well, this podcast is designed to educate, inform, enlighten, and if you're entertained in the process, we did our job.
Ready to take your business, your brand to the next level? You've exhausted all other marketing channels and you're thinking about going the influencer marketing route. Listen, this episode is specifically for you. This is the Making a Brand podcast. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. Today, I want to thank you for tuning in to the Making a Brand podcast. My name is Jarvis Relaford.
And I am Chris Kinder.
Listen, and we are your hosts for today. How you doing today?
Excellent. Just making it through this
Making
weather.
it through? Hey, it's rough out here.
It is rough out here.
It's rough out here.
Lots of water everywhere.
It's water everywhere. We just got through with Helene about a week ago. How did you fare out with that?
Well, it didn't impact my area as much, but I was able to help, and others who were impacted.
Okay.
Even now, the headquarters of, where I am established is being impacted greatly now.
Wow.
So honestly, it's weathering the storm, literally.
Gotcha.
And just seeing where it ends off. We know that out of this storm, something brand new is going to develop. Lives will never be the same again. And this is the nature of life.
That's facts.
So just bracing for the impact and adjusting and becoming acclimated to the newness.
To the new norm.
Yeah.
I think that we got some wind. This sun was out. A good bit of the day. It rained a little bit, but I didn't really get any effects. And what it really did was it clouded my judgment because I'm thinking it was cool because it was cool where I was at. I'm thinking it was cool everywhere else too. My mom's power went out.
Wow.
And low key, like I feel terrible because I didn't really check on her. She had to call me like, "Hey, what's up?" And I'm like, "Oh, the sun's out over here. Like, what's up over there?" And she lives southeast Georgia, mid-east Georgia. I don't know. It's far. It's far. But yeah, so it was kind of hard.
Did you say mid-east Georgia?
Yeah.
That's a new one.
It's a new thing?
Mid-east Georgia?
Yeah, it's like in the middle, but it's the east side of it.
Same side?
Yeah.
Got it.
The mid-east Georgia.
What city is that?
Sandersville. It's
know
not
where
south. It's not north. It's not west.
It's not in the middle.
It's in the middle, but on the east side of the middle.
Shout out. If anybody knows where this is located,
I've only
please.
been like 4 times.
Are you serious? Is it a small town? It sounds like a small town.
Very small. My mom, shout out to my mom.
Shout out, Mom.
Shout out to my mama. She probably will never see this. But if she do, she will be all right. So about 15, 20 years ago, me and my sister were really just getting our stride in life. Mm-hmm. And my mom was feeling like, y'all ain't checking on me. What's up? Y'all ain't doing this. I'm just going, she pulled a temper tantrum, picked up and moved to Sandersville.
What's in Sandersville?
Not a mother thing. Not a mother thing. Nothing is in Sandersville. And
just people.
It ain't that many. It ain't that many people.
Really?
I think she had a dude out there and she was just
I would be more prone to believe that. There's no way.
She was trying to slide, yeah. But I only been out there a handful of times and I refuse to stay. I don't let my kids go out there.
Oh, wow.
It's just I grew up in the country, man. I mean, I grew up, but my grandmother lived in the country and I used to spend summers out there and I dreaded those summers.
Really?
I mean, I love my grandma. I love, hanging out with her, but like when I talk about nothing to do, and I don't want if I can give my kids something to do, I'm not going to send them 300 miles mid-east to do nothing.
That's true.
That doesn't make sense to me.
That makes sense.
It makes no sense to me.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it made no sense to me. So yeah, that's what we are with it.
Well, that's it. We're surviving, man.
We're surviving.
Yes.
We're winning. We're living. We're doing more than surviving. We're living.
More so. Grateful for some events that are coming up. Shout out to the Georgia Spartans, Art in Park, sponsoring that event.
Okay.
Giveaway from...
That's Jarrell.
Yeah, Jarrell,
okay.
our guy.
Okay.
So Art in the Park, October the 12th. I know this might have passed before that comes.
Yeah.
But He does it every year, and it's an amazing event where there's just a lot of artists, music, drawing, just
Okay.
talents, gifts.
You hosting?
People come together. I am not hosting, just sponsoring
Okay.
from an
Look,
aspect.
you see that? You see that? You see that? That's growth. You see that?
Yeah, we talked
You
about
see that? That's growth. That's more growth. That's
More growth.
I'm no longer working the event. I'm just sponsor this shit. You know what I'm saying? Like you can't pay me to show up. I'm gonna pay you not to be there.
Oh my goodness.
That's dope.
Or just contribute to the success of it, because I
dope.
believe in the foundation and everything he represents. There's growth from it. Like we
Absolutely.
said, anything that is alive will grow. And I've seen this event just prosper over the years, and I'm super excited. So shout out to Jarrell
Shout out
Sharon,
to Jarrell.
good friend of mine. I remember when Jarrell used to hustle purses out of his trunk,
Wow.
running away from crazy ex-girlfriends who was busting windows out his place, and now he has literally the keys to the city
He
and
does.
partnerships all
He
over.
does.
He's acknowledged. He took a team that was dying,
And
purchased it
revitalize
from a friend of ours, and created a brand.
Oh.
That, hats off to you, Jarrell.
Yeah.
Shout out.
I met Jarrell. He was the owner of that team. I played in the same league.
Really?
That team. That's how I know. Well, me and Tony went to college together, but when we left college, me and Tony played at Fort Valley State together, and then when we graduated, we came up here and we played in the UBA, United Basketball Association, and that's where I met Jarrell. He was the owner of the Georgia Spartans.
Yeah.
And Tony and I played. It's the craziest thing. I've never seen anything like this in my life. Tony and I played for the Mally Matrix or something like that. God is Everything Mally. It was weird. But anyway, the starting shooting guard on our team was the owner of the team. Not only was he the owner of the team, he was the owner of the league. So if you ever heard stories about, the refs cheating and, oh man, the refs cheated us, da-da-da-da-da. And usually growing up, I was always on the other side of that, the refs cheating. The ref was cheating for the other team or whatnot. I was finally on a team where the ref was cheating for us. And
How did that feel?
it was weird. It was very weird. But I'm talking
Got those
about
W's.
Man, we got W's, we got championships, we got.
Are you serious?
like,
you didn't feel a way about that?
It was cheating, but you're on the cheating team, but you're not cheating. I didn't contribute to the cheating. Wow. But the owner of the team.
But you knew it was a foul.
Oh yeah.
You knew that was foul.
I knew when referees were getting kicked out of the game for making the wrong call, and he calling other referees to come in and finish the game. I knew that was weird. I knew that was weird. It was a lot of crookedness, and I fell out of love with the game. But Jarrell was a bright spot that came out of that. Actually, him and Tony were roses that grew from that concrete in the UBA. I think that league is debunked now.
I think so.
Yeah, I think it's defunct. It was crooked.
Yeah.
It was crooked. And so this guy, you can't deny what he did. He had connections with U.S. Basket, which is like the governing body. Well, it was Eurobasket. And it's the governing body of basketball all over the world. The NBA reports to Eurobasket. Everybody reports to Eurobasket with their statistics and all this stuff. So this dude had a plug with Eurobasket. So it became, we saw how fake it was. I remember one game I played, I might have had 12 points. Tony might have had 12 points. And the dude that I don't even say his name because he's such a sucker, but he might have finished with 8 points that game. When the game is over, we go to Eurobasket to see the stats. Mind you, I had 12 points. Tony might have had 12 points. Old boy might have had just 8. He might have even played the whole game. He might have just had 8 points. You go check the statistics. He finished the game with 32 points.
Whoa, pause.
He finished the game with 32 points. Jarvis did not play. Tony did not play. And he took our 12 points, put it on his statistics, added all our numbers to his, and that's when I knew this was bogus. This is so bogus.
Oh, wow.
So when I say Gerald and Tony are roses that grew from that, it was crooked concrete, very crooked concrete. I think they ran him out of town, so now he's like somewhere in the Dominican doing the same thing. And so you had guys from all just like music, basketball is like a lottery ticket to get people out of the hood. And so he was playing with a lot of guys' future, man. They were paying him to get him overseas. And again, he had some solid connections. He had some legitimate connections. I'm gonna say those. He had some legitimate connections. So he was getting guys to go play in little tournaments overseas, but he ended up screwing a lot of people.
So that whole industry,
Crooked.
and I almost, and I, but at the end of the day, what can you truly promise someone in that space? What is the promise? What are the guarantees?
Opportunity. I was trying to go overseas. I was trying to play international overseas somewhere. So my goal was to get the training, get the film, get what I needed to get an agent and go overseas and play basketball. And what he was doing was he was running an agency. And what we would see, we saw him shipping guys overseas.
Okay.
But what we didn't see, these guys were going overseas anyway. These guys were good enough to go overseas with or without him. With or without the UBA, we saw guys that were coming from Clemson, they were coming from Georgia Tech, they were coming from Florida State. They'll come and play 2 or 3 games in our league, but they were going anyway.
Wow.
And so we see this like, oh man, dude got them a job in Europe. Dude got them a job in Iceland. Dude got them a job in Japan. That's what we saw. But when you really sit down and you really look, you'd be like, he was going overseas anyway. He was good enough to go anyway. Mm-hmm. So
first and foremost, that's crooked.
Very crooked.
And I hate that. But what I really admire about what Jarrell did is he leveraged his relationships.
Absolutely.
He now has a celebrity basketball tournament that he does. So he brings out influencers and they come to the games. And then people come because they want to see their influencers play against basketball players. Right. And here's this event that I think he's mastered everything that we're going to talk about today because he leveraged their influence to build his brand. And it has been successful since the beginning of time.
Yeah. It had. I'm thinking this had to be 2013, 2012, 2013 when I met him. Mm-hmm. And they've been cooking ever since. So we're talking almost 10, 11 years now.
Yeah.
That they've been cooking and people still play in their leagues. And Jarrell's one of the good guys. Tony's one of the good guys. I commend them for what they're doing. And they're making community impact.
Yes.
It's not about padding their pockets. It's not about none of that. Shout out to Tony. Shout out to Jarrell. It's my guy.
So the question is, had he linked with the wrong influencers or the wrong celebrities, how would that have greatly, affected his brand?
Right.
Because I think he's built so many things from those relationships and those other people's audiences.
Right.
He brought their audience to his event. And once they came, he established this relationship. So I think on both ends, there was a pro for the influencer as well as Jarrell, who's now himself an influencer.
Right.
If you want something to go through the city,
he's a community influencer.
He's the one.
I agree.
He works for the state of Georgia. So he's really impactful. My question is, when is it not a good time to partner with influencers?
I think influencer marketing is a channel to be used after you've established business. The business model is proven, and you've exhausted all other channels of marketing. What I'm learning, the rooms that I'm in now, the people that I'm in these rooms with now, influencer marketing is expensive. So I'm talking. I can't say no names, but I'm in rooms where people are getting paid $40,000 to $60,000 per post.
Per post?
Per post.
Even if nobody likes it?
Even if nobody likes it. But we're talking about major influencers. We're talking about major influencers. We're talking about, I don't even want to say no names, but we're talking major influencers.
Got it. $50,000 to $60,000 per post?
Not for 4 posts, per post. And they're doing like 4 to 6 post deals. They're doing 4 to 6 posts. So these rooms, like I said, we can't. I can't talk about the players that are involved, but we're talking. These people are on Power. These people are on. You know what I mean? These people are on major shows, HBO Max show, Fresh Prince. Like these are big time people, and they're getting paid that type of money to make these posts. So my thing is, if you're going to go the influencer route, you definitely have to do the proper research, but you got to make sure you have the capital.
That's right.
You got to have the capital or the credit because it's not cheap. Shout out to I ain't gonna say a name, but I got a
shout out to
she wants to get into the influencer marketing. A couple years ago, when Sexy Red was bubbling, she wasn't as hot as she was now. She wanted to bring in Sexy Red to help her push her text brand. And at the time, I was like, this is when Booty Hole Brown was really hot.
That's not even the name of the song.
What's the name of it?
I don't know.
All right, a second.
But I'm sure it's not Booty Hole Brown. It's got to be Out of Town Thugger with My Rounds.
Out of Town. What's the name of that song, Tom? No.
No, that's okay. I just went to a Glorilla song. It's not that one. So we're back at Sexy Red.
Right. And when she said, I want to bring Sexy Red in to help me market my business, I'm thinking like, no. But actually, and we talked about it off cam, it probably would have been a great fit.
Yeah.
But she was a tax preparer. She had a tax office. She had several agents all over the city. And, a lot of tax offices, we could dress it up as much as we want to.
Yeah.
The tax game is a ghetto game. It's a ghetto game. So it's
shout out to all our tax
shout out to my tax professionals.
Thank you for my tax professional. You are amazing. Thank you for the breaks that you give me as an entrepreneur. We adore you.
We love you.
Because you get the job done.
Get the job done.
You saying it's ghetto?
It's a ghetto game.
Why?
Bro, sis, it's a ghetto game. It's a ghetto game. I watch. There's certain tax preparers that I won't even work with. Like, we can't take you because it's too ghetto. It's too ghetto. I don't want to make flyers with money falling from the sky. I don't want to make those flyers. I don't want to make the flyers with diamonds and cars all in the flyers. And I don't want to do that. We don't want to create websites. We don't want to create branding.
What about holding a stack like this?
No.
Get your refund today.
That's subtle. I could, but we'll do it. I'll do it. But the money, the falling from the sky, all of that, we're not doing that. We're not doing the MLM informational video for your tax brand. We're not doing that.
Just saying,
We're not doing
there's
that.
a market for everybody. When these people go to those tax preparers, they know those kids are going to bring in a certain return.
True.
What is it, like 8 per kid or 4 per kid?
I don't even know anymore.
And then you got the ones who just are on the hustle. So they're going to go to that tax preparer that can give them every return, the most. And what did you say? Well, there's a need because half the time they need that money. They right? Do. So, yeah, she's going to take her, 30-20%? I don't know how they get paid.
It'd be yeah. I think it's less than that, but
is it?
I think it's like 5, 6. If I'm finna get back, if I got 8 kids and I'm getting $4,000, $5,000 per kid.
How much is the tax preparer getting?
She might get 7, 8 from it, 800.
100 or 1,000?
I don't know. Don't give me the line. The tax preparers, tag it. Get into the comments. Let us know what y'all make.
Let us know why.
Yeah, because I see the post about all the money you made in these 3 months, these 6 figures you made in 3 months, this damn near 7 figures in 3 months.
Yeah,
I see it. So I want to know.
I want to know. Take the class and why a Sexy Red audience would benefit a tax preparer. Yeah, I have an idea.
I get it too. You said it. You hit the nail on the head. The audience who listens to Sexy Red.
Yep. I'm not going to say that. I'm just going to say who's influenced by Sexy Red. Better. Because there are certain people who will listen who wouldn't walk a mile in her shoes.
I'm going to tell you a secret.
What's that?
My most professional, elegant, classiest clients listen to that garbage during their photo shoot.
Yeah.
They listen to that.
That's how I was saying it because I've been there. I was like, oh.
They request it for their photo shoot. Hey, make sure you got a Sexy Red. I'm like,
why?
And then they go back to social media being as elegant and as classy as possible.
Yeah, because that's just the ratchet. You just tap dance, but you'll never do it. Right. You just do it and come back. But the people who are definitely influenced by her are going to be the people who are walking sometimes the same path. I remember Sexy Red branding herself from being pregnant. And she had it was this whole thing about her being pregnant, and then there was a sex tape, and then there was like all of these things. So you have a target audience, a demographic that responds to that, right?
Yeah, responds. That's a great word.
Yeah,
excellent word choice. I agree. I'm not a fan, and I'm not easily influenced.
Me either.
So yeah.
So you could.
Sexy Red ain't gonna make me get my taxes done with you.
Correct.
But there is a generation and a market of people that it would. And I think I kind of talked the girl out of it, but it would have been a
You
wise
talked her out
decision.
of it?
Yeah, I don't know. She probably wasn't going to do it anyway, but I told her I didn't like the idea.
And you were her mentor.
As a brand strategist, her brand manager, I didn't like the concept. So for me, brand association is major.
Yeah.
Right? Brand association is major. We remember the NBA All-Star game this past year, where Ruffles had announced the players for the All-Star game, and Chris Brown got thrown in the mix, and then they rescinded the offer to Chris Brown.
That was crazy work. Crazy
They
work.
didn't want the brand association with the domestic violence, the woman beating, the drug. They didn't want that.
He
was a kid. He was a kid.
Like, when y'all gonna I mean,
I think it's time we let it go.
we had Trump as president. No shade to your hat. We had Trump as president. You know what I mean? At this point, you can be president with those type of offenses.
True.
Felonies.
True.
No shade to your hat again.
Right.
And I'm trying not to look at it
Right.
because it throws me off. Right?
Listen, this is a great hat.
What?
This is a great hat.
And if you look at it too quick, you might throw something.
Listen, it's a great hat. It was an opportunity that we saw. These hats are on sale.
Are they?
Yeah, on the website. These hats are on sale on the website, man. It was an opportunity.
What does the hat say? So if people aren't confused about what we're doing here.
It says "Make America Brand Again," and I just I made the hat because I felt like Americans, more so African Americans, got away from branding. They just think, "Oh, I'm cool. I'm gonna start a business, and I ain't got a brand. I ain't got to take pictures. I'm gonna do my camera phone. I'm gonna do my AI thing, and that's not where it's at." So we want to make Americans, African Americans, brand again.
But real talk, America, the country, did brand themselves off of being a free country.
Right.
The land of the free. That was the brand. So everybody across the globe wanted to come to this because it was branded that way.
Right.
So I don't know what we're branded by now, especially, with the election coming up now.
I mean, just Americans, business owners, entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
I should put American entrepreneurs, but I like, I've been getting a lot of dirty stares. I've been getting a lot of, right on.
What happened when you went to Cracker Barrel?
So I'm in Cracker Barrel. I'm dressed in my gear, my brand merch, and white guys walking by. Attaboy, way to go, man! Like that hat, man. So I mean, it's cool, it's funny, and then I think once they really look at it, they be like, "Oh, I made a mistake."
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But it's cool.
Yeah.
And then the black women, I get the dirtiest looks.
I'm
black
sure
women.
you do. And it's not, this is...
It's cool.
It's such a dangerous topic.
Shock marketing.
Yeah, it is shock marketing. And I think that's
guerrilla marketing. Shock marketing. I want your attention.
Yeah, you got it.
I want your attention.
You see, I've been looking this way the whole time. I'm just like, let me just look at it.
I want your attention.
Right, but I think it, especially now, being relevant to any
Election
type
time.
of
Yeah. Timing is everything.
Timing is everything. But I also believe with that hat, you can reach another demographic as well. Even with it saying brand again, it still represents something.
Chris don't like my hat.
I didn't say I didn't like his hat. You never heard me say that.
Chris don't like my hat.
Anybody, if you felt I said that, please put that in the
Put it
chat.
out.
I never said that.
Okay.
I just said I was shocked, right?
Mm-hmm.
And listen, I'm not. Hey, vote how you may, do what you may.
Who you voting for?
We don't get into personal business. Let me tell you about branding. Let me
Okay.
tell you
Talk
about
to me.
being smart,
Take me to school.
being a smart entrepreneur,
Okay.
being a smart employee.
Okay.
Is that you don't get into politics.
You don't discuss politics.
I discuss politics with who I discuss politics with.
Right.
But nowadays, especially with the severity of politics, this is more cultish than I've ever seen it before in my life.
Agreed.
I've never seen people hate the other side, the opposing side, as much as I've seen. I've never seen the disrespect on the capacity. I've never seen such controversial differences on each side to the point that it consists of life and death on both sides,
Cool.
right? I've heard the Red say we want to give police officers immunity, right?
Immunity for what?
Anything that they
For
do
killing
on the
folks?
job, correct.
Oh.
I've heard the Blue, say...
I ain't gotta watch more TV.
You-
I hear
you-
that.
yeah, it's
Wow.
there.
Jesus
You can
Christ.
Google it. It's there. And then I've heard, the other side say, hey, you can abort kids even after birth, and that could be something.
That's a lot.
That's a lot.
That's a lot. How do you feel about people on Capitol Hill making decisions about what you can do with your reproductive system?
God doesn't even do that. But I believe that their argument about human life is incorrect.
Okay.
Because life, even if you Google it now, what determines a living organism? What determines if something is alive?
Right.
And it's growth.
Right. I think if you can take it out and it could grow on its own, I mean, of course, with nourishment and nature, but if it could grow on its own, then it's life.
It's life. From the embryo to everything that creates a child
Right.
is living from the conception of it. It is all alive. And so the argument to say that this is not a person is incorrect, in my opinion. So you can't use that argument
Right.
to stand on that.
I'm not sure what they're saying though. I've really tuned out this entire. I'm gonna be. Can I tell you what my concerns are?
What's that?
My only concerns politically are I'm voting for whoever can stop the robocalls, and I'm voting for whoever can really get this student loan thing down. Who
You know, they promised us that in this past.
Yeah.
They did a couple of people,
Yeah.
and then he kind of stopped.
Yeah. I need the robocalls. I need them out. I need them done.
You can vote for me. I can do one phone call and get you taken care of. Vote Kristen. And
You'll
we
win the
stop-
election. If you could promise that and get it done.
One simple phone call.
Are you serious?
Yeah, you threaten them with a lawsuit. Done.
So American Solar, all the healthcare, all the Medicaid, man, I hate them.
But you gave them your number.
I did not.
How did they get your
I have
number?
no idea.
You put your number somewhere. That's how they got it.
So what I'm gonna do now, what I do now is when I'm having a bad day, I go in, I waste all of their time. I go all the way through the process.
Do you?
Hell yeah, all the way.
And do what?
Just waste their time.
Do you give them a credit card?
No, never. I get to that point. When they be like, hey, can I get your credit card? I give them 14 numbers instead of 16. And they be like, we need 2 more numbers.
Yeah. What's the rest?
Yeah.
Click.
I just stay on the phone until they be like, and then, you know, they always curse you out because they're so thirsty for the sale. They
Of course, this is their job. Can you imagine how hard that job is?
Hell yeah.
Like,
Hell yeah. That's why they...
you talking about rideshare, please eliminate telemarketers. Let's do that. Just eliminate the entire industry. And I did it. So I remember doing that. It's horrible.
So they don't call your phone?
Huh?
They don't call your phone?
So with the iPhone, if your number's not saved, it goes directly to voicemail. It doesn't even ring. I have a setting on my phone that blocks all numbers that aren't saved. You can't do that. I can. Because when your clients call, they're going to call.
That's what I was going to say. I thought you were saying, like, I don't have the capability to do it.
No,
but you're
no.
absolutely right. I have to answer every call.
But you get another number for that. Not your personal phone.
I got another phone, but I still answer every call.
You do?
On my business phone, yeah.
So that's why you get all of those calls. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Well, on your business phone, yeah, that makes sense.
I gotta answer
You
them.
have to.
Yeah.
And I answer all of them on my business, but I don't. My personal, everything is blocked.
Yeah, my personal phone don't even ring.
Really?
I
That
don't
makes
give out
sense.
the number. I do all my personal calls on my business phone.
Who has your personal
My
number?
children and my ex-wife.
Hey, ex-wife,
Hey.
you're special. Just want to let you know that.
Don't do that. It ain't.
There's something about the one who had your heart first.
That ain't what this is.
That is what this is, because nobody else had it. No ex-girlfriend have that number.
No.
You are special. What's her name?
Keisha.
Keisha.
Shout out to Keisha. Keisha.
Keisha, look, Keisha. You're the only one that can contact them when the world shuts off, Keisha.
It's for the kids. It's for everything. It's for the kids.
It's for the kids.
It's for the kids. It's for the kids to get in contact with me if
Gotcha.
this phone isn't working.
I got
If
you.
something, but they all call this phone. Everybody calls this phone.
So for everybody that didn't know Jarvis had a second phone, now you know.
Now you know.
Because I just found out. I was today years old when I
Today,
found out he
yeah.
had a second phone.
I don't use it.
Yeah.
I use it to surf the web while I'm on the phone. Like it's because you can surf and talk at the same time. But
You can.
Yeah, I just do it for that. I'm wasting money actually.
No, but sometimes that multitasking helps get through a long conversation.
Yeah.
Real talk.
So
but
you don't hit it while I'm on the phone with you?
this is true. Yeah, I got caught up like that yesterday.
Do you hear me? You hear what I'm saying?
What are you doing? Are you surfing the web?
Yeah. Are you texting while you're on the phone with me?
Who are you texting?
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah. So that's
you
what I
can't say
use it for.
nobody because I don't lie. I just like
You don't lie.
I don't
You don't lie.
because it comes back to you
Sometimes.
all the time.
So we're in a photo shoot.
Okay.
Chris she has me shooting some stuff for her agency, and Chris, I'm not gonna use the exact language terminology. It was all clean.
It was all clean.
It was all clean. But Chris was like, "Hey, in so many words, I need you to turn up a little bit. It's okay if you turn up a little bit in this Photoshop, personality wise, like turn your personality up." And I was like, "You sure?" And she was like, "Yeah, it's okay." And this girl isn't from America, so Chris has international clients. It's so crazy. She has this girl is not from America, and so I'm still skeptical of turning up because she's not from America. So I'm afraid that she won't get my banter. She won't get my, and she was 10 steps ahead of me. She was all over it. Like she was dope. She was super dope.
She threw it right back.
Yeah, she did. And I was like, okay, I don't want to play. I don't want to play no more. Like, all right, I don't want to play no more. You got it.
It got intense, but it was good to watch. Yeah. It was good to see you in your element.
But she pulled your coattail. She said, "Hey, Chris,
yeah, she did.
What'd you say to him?" And when I came back
for 2 seconds, I was like, "Do I tell her? Do I not?" 2 seconds.
You should have lied.
I can't. I felt like she would have known. It's something about
when people know you're lying.
Yeah, when people know you're lying, it's that look, and then it's that moment of distrust in you as a person. Yeah. I have 2 options here, and I just told her, and thankfully she was cool with it.
She was cool with it. Yeah, she was cool with it.
Yeah.
And I walked in on the tail end, and she was like, "Oh, so you want him to turn up on me?" Like, damn, Chris, you supposed to lie.
I was trying to get to you before she did. Like, I told her. No, but you guys work really well together, so that was pretty good.
Shout out to Joe.
Shout out to Joe.
She's super dope.
But yeah, that and just the branding aspect of it, great shots. Yeah. It was pretty good. So we're gonna make her in America brand again.
I'm with it. Make her brand in America again.
Ooh, I see what you did there.
And she had some. So I'm not eating sugar, right? I'm on this sugar-free thing, and she had. They're usually rips. They're called rips here in America. Yeah. But she brought some from Germany.
Yeah.
My God.
Different type of flavor.
Different type. Bursting with flavor.
All up in here.
I was supposed to have, I was supposed to only have one. I probably had like 6 or 7.
You did. You went in.
Yeah, it was a lot.
It's a trap.
It was good.
Yeah.
But back to this influencer marketing thing.
Yes. Commercial break.
Commercial break. Back to the influencer marketing thing. I personally haven't used it yet. I'm on I have some marketing campaigns from some influencers that I just haven't released yet because I don't know. I'm not easily influenced.
Right.
So I assume that my audience isn't easily influenced either. But we all are influenced by somebody somewhere in some shape, form, or fashion or another, right?
Yeah. I thought it was, like, I have used it. I used it at that time with a fedora hat company, 1820 Hats. I wanted to get my hats to be crowns on amazing people who had access to other people. And I went head first. I knew I can create the hat. I knew every hat was custom, so I didn't have to worry about trying to duplicate this hat or duplicate this. Everything was custom. I can do that. That's easy work. Boom. So I'm putting my hats on influencers' heads. And I was noticing I am giving away all of this money, right? There was no clear conversation. There was no clear communication about expectations. I assumed that they would shout me out.
Right.
And I said, hey, I'm going to give you this hat. Just shout me out when you can. Cool. I'm looking at the news. The influencer has on my hat. He says nothing. He's rocking the hat. He texts me, hey, I'm rocking your hat tonight on tonight's episode. Tune in to Fox. Right. Cool. Got nothing. So this entire time, all of that work, all of that effort went nowhere. So I would say if you are going to do anything with social media influencers, make that communication clear, the expectations clear. Go back and look at how or if they've helped to market or brand any other product. See how successful that was, how invested they were in that process, because you want to make sure that you're sowing into fertile grounds. You want to make sure that this hat is not just going on someone's head, it's going on the right person's head, or whatever the product is, that they believe in it, that the relationship or the rapport that they have with you is so solid that even if I don't like the product, I love you and I'm gonna do anything to support you, and it's okay. They're just people, right? Establishing relationships, making clear boundaries, and just setting clear expectations. I would say if you're gonna do any type of business with any influencer, just make sure that that is very clear and you know who you're dealing with.
It has to be crystal clear.
Yeah.
I would say that my experience, you're absolutely right. Like about getting the paperwork. You gotta be crystal clear.
Very.
You gotta be crystal clear what my expectations are of you. I think I've had a situation where I'm thinking I'm gonna do this and you're gonna do that, and you don't do that, and then I get upset. Yeah, I get upset, and it's not cool because you're right. You're taking your time, you're taking your money, you're taking with everything that you built, and you're trying to put it. And I really think it's a shortcut that should be avoided.
Ooh.
Let's just talk about it. I think it's a shortcut. It is a shortcut because you get the right influencer to pump your stuff and you're out of here. It's a done deal.
Right.
But you said something, you want to research their page to see if they have any other deals. Is it a red flag if you see, I'm just throwing a name out, Idris Elba, and he has no brand deals posted on his page. It's just his stuff. Is that a red flag to you? Because you got to assume that just like you pulled on that other person, that there's a million people pulling on him to push their products, right? So is it safe to say that if we don't see it on his page, that he doesn't do it, or he does it and he doesn't advertise it, that he's short, it's short? Is that a red flag?
It depends on where you guys have agreed to do the promotion.
I'm saying I'm
on social media.
I'm researching I'm researching influencers. And I don't see
that is
any
a red
brand.
Flag.
Yeah, I don't see, but I know people are pulling on you.
Yeah, that's a red flag. But it's also, it could be their preference. They will only participate in a certain brand, right? Maybe this is that once in a lifetime opportunity. You come to them. They were looking for a small business that had the nerve. It just, things could happen, right? So red flags, I believe, vary. But I remember having a conversation with you early on in your photography career about someone that was, didn't fulfill the conversation.
Yeah.
And that being a huge issue.
Well, we were talking about this before the episode. You remember I was telling you about my trauma and people handling me like getting screwed. I had this grave fear of just getting screwed. And so I was really about it back then, like when I first got started. So we shot the girl. She was on Love and Hip Hop. And her manager reached out to me and was like, hey, can we, we want to do a shoot with you, da-da-da-da-da. We don't got the budget. We was hoping we could do it, pay for play type thing. I mean, play for, shoot you and we'll shout you out type thing. I was new. I was brand new. And I shot it. And no shout outs came. I saw it was a influencer. She was on Love and Hip Hop. She was on Flavor of Love. She was on a few of them shows. And I shot her and her brother, her two brothers. And the oldest brother, he's more polished, more professional. He was posting all the stuff, and no shout out came. And then that went on for about a week, and then she posted some stuff. No shout out came. So I called the manager up. I remember, I'm early on in my career, I'm with it. I'm with all of it. And I called the manager up like, hey, bro, they posted my work, and it's been a week. It's been 2 weeks. I ain't got a shout out yet. What's up? He's like, oh, yeah, we on top of it. I'm like, all right, cool. Another day or two go by, another post, another picture go up, no shout out. So I'm like, I call up bro. I see him now, we won't even speak. But I call up bro, I'm like, listen, you do understand that I have her unedited photos, correct?
Whoa.
You do understand that, right? And with Shade Room, TMZ, Spiritual Work, what they wouldn't pay to see her in this light, bro, I need my shout out. All three of them. Shout out same day, less than an hour later.
That worked though. Do you still use that same approach, or you just make sure you have everything in the contract?
I'm in order now. And honestly, the game, my heart is different now.
That's good.
My heart is different now. So I'm not in pain. I was hurting. I wanted to grow so fast, and I was upset when the growth didn't take place. I was upset when the opportunities didn't come. But now my heart is in a different place. So if I shoot with an influencer, you either gonna pay me, and if I don't accept your money, it's because I wanted to do it. Because I had the heart to do it. And I expect nothing in return. So I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
I expect nothing in return. So when the expectation is low, either you're gonna pay me. My phrase is, the only way you can screw me is if I bend over. So as long as I don't bend over, you can't screw me. I give you what I want you to have. I can't be mad about what you do with it.
That's true.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I give you what I want you to have now. So I did a shoot earlier this year, and oh yeah, such and such and such and such. My friend, they gonna post it. Da, 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 da. They posted it, but I ain't got no shout out. But I didn't care. I screenshotted it and I posted it next to the behind the scenes. I know how to work it now.
Right.
I posted it next to the behind the scenes, and the brand association is still there. So it doesn't. I approach it differently now.
And it's not emotional.
No, it's all business. It's mindset though. That goes back to the other episode. It's all mindset.
Yeah. Because I was very emotional with mine. I was emotional because I was personally emotionally attached to what my hands did,
Yeah.
right? And it was ministry for me. So outside of that, I don't know. I don't know if I'm burned by that or would I do it again, but I definitely do it with having my ducks in a row, having the paperwork together, doing my research. I would definitely do that. And I mean, there's a market for it. I'm not personally influenced by influencers, and you said you weren't either, but there's a demographic of people who are.
Right.
And it works.
There's a large demo of people that are.
Yeah, and it works. So it just depends on the target audience and what you're trying to do. But there's some shady people out there, so be very careful.
Absolutely.
Because their influence doesn't mean they have character.
Right.
And I'll say that.
I think my advice would be to don't bank on an influencer. Like, don't. You use influencer marketing as an addition to what you already are doing.
Right.
Don't. Your influencer can't be the home run to get. It can't be your lottery ticket.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because they're gonna cost you a lottery ticket.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So, and the only way somebody is going to fully be invested in doing what you want them to do is if you pay them for it. So I would just say, don't get so caught up in who you gonna get to wear this, who you gonna get to do this, who you gonna get to do that. I know a dude, he made clothes. He had Jay-Z in one of his hats. And bro still.
Really?
Like, Jay-Z done shot it out. He didn't have to. If you see my logo on Jay-Z head, you know it's up. You know what I'm saying? But it did something, but the dude still, he's still here. He's not out of here. He's still here.
Is he still making?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, then, there we go. It works.
I mean, it works. But he didn't. Jay-Z wearing your stuff, you should be out of here.
This is true.
You should be out of here. Jay-Z wearing your stuff courtside at a basketball game, you should be out of here. You should be out of here.
Yeah, that would have been in a commercial promo or something.
Yeah, I would have had some ads running on that.
Yeah.
But, the dude is blessed. He's not losing by any stretch of the imagination. But I just think influencer marketing is a reach. It's a gamble. And like I said, these people, the top dogs is charging $40,000, $50,000, $60,000 per post. So if you got a budget for that, you got to think. In order for me to spend $60,000, $240,000 on a social media campaign for 4 posts, I gotta be a billionaire.
Right.
I gotta be, or half a billion, 500 million, and I gotta generate that the next day. Or the influencer that I'm working with has to be able to generate that income like the day after the post goes up.
I heard there was a way that you could partner with an influencer if they were able to take part in the revenue, right?
Revenue sharing.
Revenue sharing. So I believe it makes them personally invested in the success of what they're doing. So I would recommend that every single time.
Yeah.
That a kickback, here you go.
Here's a percentage of your sales.
Absolutely.
There's websites that support that where, you know, you give them a promo code and it'll show you what percent, you know, how much people paid, how many people came to the site using that promo code. There's a way for it. But you got to think there's levels of influencer.
Yeah.
There's levels.
And on TikTok, you can see they'll say this this person gets a commission for
Right.
selling this product.
Right.
Was that a legal thing that they had to start doing that now?
Probably to let people know.
Yeah. That they're not fully invested.
All right. Tone gave us the finger. So you want to leave us with the inspirational vitamin, the word?
Can I just request you?
Again?
Want to know why?
Why?
I feel it on you.
Jesus Christ, really?
It's on your hat. That is a statement,
Jesus Christ.
sir.
You're doing something different at Making a Brand podcast.
I love it though.
I like it.
I love the trend. It's season 2.
We in a different season.
Yeah.
We in a different season. Stay down. Stay down.
I love it.
There's no rhyme. There's no reason. Stay down. Keep your faith. Stay focused. No matter what happens, no matter what, it's all by design. It's all in the plan. It's all supposed to happen. Be mad at God about it. Be mad about whatever, but it is supposed to happen. And everything that's supposed to happen, it shapes you for what is going to happen. So if you want to be properly molded, you want to be properly shaped, and you want to be properly shaped and prepared and built for what's to come in your life, you got to stay down, maintain your posture, watch your mouth, watch your feelings, watch your emotions, watch your thoughts, watch your actions. And that's it.
Oh, that's dope.
That's it.
It's the Making a Brand podcast.
It's Making a Brand podcast. Perfect.
That was good. You're killing it. Can I
Bruh.
be honest though with my intention?